The Aztec civilization, flourishing in central Mexico from around 1345 to 1521 CE, possessed an extraordinary agricultural prowess. Their ability to cultivate a vast array of crops was a result of favorable climate conditions, ingenious irrigation methods, and extensive agricultural knowledge. These agricultural skills granted the Aztecs one of the most diverse and rich cuisines in the ancient world. In Aztec society, land ownership could be communal, with land distributed among individual families for cultivation. Alternatively, farmers could be tenants on large privately owned estates. These tenants paid rent in the form of agricultural produce to the landowners. Landowners included Aztec nobles, warriors rewarded with land, or even the king, Tlatoani. All these landholders managed their estates through intermediaries. Additionally, commoners, Macahualtin, often maintained their own small garden plots to provide food for their families. At the lowest rung of the social hierarchy were the slaves, Tlacotin, who not only worked in other industries but were also extensively engaged in agriculture. Two distinct groups of agricultural workers existed. General farm laborers tended to the fields, planting and irrigating crops. In contrast, horticulturalists possessed specialized knowledge about seeding, transplanting, crop rotation, and the ideal times for planting and harvesting. They determined these timings based on tonalamatal almanacs, considering not only climatic conditions but also auspicious periods and events. To maximize crop yields, the Aztecs employed various strategies. Terracing, especially prevalent during the reign of Netzahualcoyotl, expanded farmland by creating flat, step-like fields. Irrigation was widespread across the Aztec Empire, ranging from ambitious projects like diverting the Cornerstone River to smaller-scale practices such as artificially flooded fields called Chinampas, see below. Additionally, crops were fertilized using a mix of canal-dredged sludge and human excrement, deliberately collected from urban centers. However, despite these efforts, crop yields could be adversely affected by unfavorable natural occurrences like excessive rain, snow, or pest infestations such as locusts and rodents. Consequently, grain reserves were maintained to provide relief to the needy during challenging times. The Aztecs cultivated a wide variety of food and non-food crops. Their agricultural repertoire included cotton and tobacco, which was consumed either through pipes or rolled into cigars. After harvest, these goods were sold in markets located in the central plazas of towns. The most renowned and extensive market was at Tlatelolco, drawing up to 25,000 shoppers daily, and as many as 50,000 during special markets held every fifth day. The Aztecs were a clever and resourceful people, and they had learned to grow food in the most unlikely of places, on floating islands in the middle of a lake. The Aztecs called these floating islands Chinampas. They built them by weaving together branches and reeds, and then filling them with mud and decaying vegetation. The Chinampas were very fertile, and the Aztecs could grow up to 6 crops a year on them. The Chinampas were so successful that they helped to feed a rapidly growing Aztec population. At its peak, the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan was home to over 200,000 people. The Aztecs were also skilled engineers. They built a complex system of canals and aqueducts to provide water to their Chinampas and to control the water level in the lake. One of the most impressive Aztec engineering feats was the construction of a 16-kilometer dike on the edge of Tenochtitlan. This dike blocked the salty water of Lake Texcoco from flooding the city and created a lagoon supplied by a freshwater spring. The Aztecs' Chinampas were a marvel of ingenuity and engineering. They allowed the Aztecs to grow enough food to feed a large population in a challenging environment. In addition to their agricultural prowess, the Aztecs had a deep appreciation for the beauty of flower gardens. These gardens adorned Tenochtitlan, their capital city. Among the most renowned examples was Moctezuma I's spectacular botanical garden at Huaxtepec. Here, he imported exotic flowers such as the vanilla orchid and cacao trees from the coastal regions. To ensure the flourishing of these plants in their new home, Moctezuma I even brought specialist gardeners. The gardens were meticulously irrigated using springs, streams, artificial canals, and featured fountains and artificial lakes. While these gardens were a feast for the eyes, they also served practical purposes, including the cultivation of food crops and medicinal plants. Indeed, pleasure gardens with lush water features, orchards, and herb gardens were a common feature in the residences of Aztec nobility. The Aztec diet predominantly consisted of fruits and vegetables, since domesticated animals were limited to dogs, turkeys, totilin, ducks, and honey bees. Game like rabbits, deer, wild pigs, fish, birds, salamanders, algae, used for making cakes, frogs, tadpoles, and insects were also integral to their diet. Maize, centley, was a staple, famously used to make tortillas, tamales, and gruel. Amaranth, a type of grain, was another key crop, alongside sage, beans, squash, and chili peppers. Their agricultural repertoire also included red and green tomatoes, albeit smaller than modern varieties, white sweet potatoes, jicama, a turnip-like vegetable, chayote, vegetable pear, nopal cactus, and peanuts. The Aztecs cultivated a variety of fruits such as guavas, papayas, custard apples, mamey, zapotes, and kiramoyas. For snacks, they enjoyed popcorn and sweet-baked leaves of the maguey agave. In their cooking, oils and fats were typically avoided. Instead, most dishes were either boiled or grilled, with flavor enhanced using an array of condiments. The Aztecs had a penchant for sauces and seasonings, including epazote, toasted avocado leaves, achiote seeds, and, of course, chili peppers in various forms, fresh, dried, or smoked. Two beloved flavors were vanilla and chocolate. Chocolate was derived from cacao beans, which were extensively cultivated near the coast. The beans were fermented, cured, roasted, and ground into powder. This powder was then mixed with hot water, creating a warm frothy drink. Although bitter, it could be flavored with maize, vanilla, flowers, herbs, and honey. Chocolate held such esteem that cacao beans were used as currency and demanded as tribute from subject tribes. Other popular drinks included otley, known as pulque to the Spanish, a light alcoholic beer made from fermented maguey sap, and pozole, made from fermented maize dough. While these alcoholic beverages were consumed, moderation was crucial, as being found intoxicated could result in severe punishments, even the death penalty.